Okay, we're now live, and this is Subs Business Events. I'm David Bellin, founder of Subs Business Events, and today we've got an excellent speaker for you. It is somebody who is he made his move from the south to the north many years ago, where he completed his business management degree at the University of Manchester. He entered the world of recruitment and worked his way up over 20 years at different Northwest agencies before setting up his own business called Focus 5 Recruitment in January of 2019. As well as being an experienced recruiter, he's passionate about paying forward time and offering both advice and experience. Plus, he's very proud to be the co-founder of Furloughed Life, something we'll be delving into a little bit later on. As well as being one of our valued Subs Wilmslow partners, it is, of course, the only Chris McCarthy. Welcome, Chris.
Morning, David. Hi, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. For those astute people, you may know that this is the first, not the first time we've done this interview. We did record it yesterday. We had a great deal of echo on the audio, which was quite unbearable. So we took the executive decision to re-record. So hopefully we will cover everything in as much detail as we did yesterday. But firstly, Chris, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so thanks for your introduction. I suppose just the only other bits to sort of say are that Focus 5, we're Wilmslow based, which is why we're part of the Wilmslow subs group. It's not just me. There's a better half of Focus 5 Recruitment, and that's my wife and business partner Fiona. So a couple of us full time in the business. And hopefully I'll tell you a bit more as the interview goes on.
Brilliant. All right. Well, obviously, I mentioned in the introduction there, Furloughed Life. Firstly, obviously, we're in the middle of the pandemic. We're in the middle of a lockdown. The word furloughed, which didn't even exist a couple of months ago in the English kind of everyday language, it's the word that's being bandied around all the time at the moment. So what is Furloughed Life?
Sure. So Furloughed Life is basically a platform. So a website on which furloughed staff can access and register as volunteers. And what they're volunteering for on that platform there is to work with some startup tech businesses around the UK. Most of them are focused in the Northwest at the moment, but we are a UK-wide platform. And really, Furloughed Life is an opportunity for the furloughed to get involved in something in a very strange time and really gain some extra skills and experience.
Okay, and I guess the question then is, why have you set it up? Obviously, furloughing is something that's very current, but what is the thought process behind it? What are you trying to really achieve?
Sure, it's an interesting one. Obviously, this is a really strange time for everyone. I work in recruitment. It's a really quiet time for us at the moment. We're certainly sort of speaking to a lot of candidates. But what happened was I belong to a couple of different networking groups, Subs being one of them, another one called Texcelerate. A company within the Texcelerate group was approached by an external organisation, a large Northwest organisation, saying, look, we've had to furlough a member of our staff. Could you use them to help your business on a voluntary basis? And that person was actually a developer, and the business within the Texcelerate group said, yeah, absolutely, I could use this person. That'd be fantastic. Mentioned it to a few of us in the group. We got together and we really sort of discussed the idea further to say, okay, well, if companies are looking for their staff to volunteer and help other companies, why is that? And are there wider groups of people that we can help? Well, as it transpired, that particular person, there were some mental health issues. There was a person who loved their work. Work was everything to them, and being in a position where they couldn't work, which is a legal stipulation of being furloughed, the employer was really concerned about them, so they approached this other company. And then we sort of thought, well, there's this huge talent pool of skilled, experienced staff sat there doing nothing. There's on the other side a pool of, and close to the heart of this the group that I'm in, there's a pool of startup businesses who are finding it extremely tough. Could we put the two together and come up with something? And really, that's where Furloughed Life came up. So giving an opportunity to the furloughed to volunteer and work on live projects with real Northwest tech businesses.
Okay, so obviously you've mentioned it's a collaborative approach with you and a few others, but go on, are you the brains behind this idea, or who has really kind of initiated doing this?
Yeah, do you know what? I can take some of the credit, but certainly it's more than me. So the initial group was from this networking organisation called Accelerate. There was a number of people in the initial conversation, but really four people have kind of spearheaded that and taken it forward. I am one of those, but within that we've also got a chap called Manoj, who is very well connected in the Northwest tech circuit. There's a chap called Ram, who has a company called Era Solutions, and they're a software company. He's experienced in building software products and putting things together, and they're actually involved in the recruitment space as well. There's a guy called Tom who owns a company called Iatro Partners, and he's helped with the build of the initial website. And then there's obviously myself, and I'm involved really from a recruitment angle. I'm obviously in touch with a lot of furloughed staff. I kind of look at it from a point of view of the operations side. How do we attract people to this site? And it's been a really interesting project, the pace at which it's moved initially. But yeah, there's four of us involved.
Okay, so how does somebody get involved, and are you looking for recruiters, as in positions to make available for people who have been furloughed, or are you looking for the people who have been furloughed?
Okay, so there's a couple of things in terms of what we're looking for, and a couple of ways that people can get involved. So if first of all I sort of tackle that in terms of the furloughed. So we say the furlough, but realistically, this could be open to anyone who's willing to volunteer. People who are between jobs, people who have been made redundant already. But because of the situation at the moment, and 8.5 million people have been furloughed, the target is, to help these furloughed staff. So, in terms of furloughed staff that can apply, it's a really broad range. I've mentioned that we're dealing with tech businesses, but the roles that exist within those tech startup, tech SME businesses are wide and varied. I think you see, David, on the screen there, there's all sorts of categories. There's literally opportunities available across a range of areas. There's admin and ops, there's analytical insight. You can see the list there, but really where we've got a lot at the moment is, yes, in the tech field, but we've also got marketing opportunities, we've got business development and sales opportunities, we've got design and UX opportunities. So there's a real range. And what we would say in terms of furloughed or redundant staff is, if you go onto the site, there's an opportunity to just go through, select volunteers, and you can register. Opportunity. If you don't see an opportunity on the site, register anyway. We will get in touch and we will work with the businesses to find you something that will keep you engaged, that will enhance your skills, that will enhance your experience. So that's for the furloughed staff. And then on the other side, in terms of people who can put opportunities on the board, it's really focused at tech businesses. That's where our connections are. Focus 5 Recruitment is a tech recruitment business. Accelerate is focused on helping UK tech businesses grow. And that's where our connections are. So any tech businesses of a small size can register and put opportunities on there, and then the furloughed can apply to those.
Okay. On the website, 50% of revenues are donated?
Sure. So, in specific to that, I suppose it's good to say, if I finish on that, there's actually four things that we're looking to really achieve with Furloughed Life. The first is to help the furloughed, and that is by, yes, keeping them mentally engaged. It's keeping them busy during a very quiet and strange time, and that's going to help people. It's also helping them add skills and experience to their portfolio, to their CV.
Okay.
Stats say that out of that 8.5 million, at least 2 million will be made redundant. It's likely to be more. There will be a very competitive recruitment market post all of these issues. So gaining extra experience and skills for the furloughed is a key one. The other one is obviously to help the tech businesses that are struggling at the moment. The third is really to help any employer out there who has had to furlough their staff. Any employer has a duty of care to their staff to keep them engaged, to keep them, to look after their mental well-being. And in fact, it's going to be a really interesting time in terms of retaining staff, and those who invest in training and development are more likely to retain their staff. So this is a real opportunity. Whilst an employee is furloughed and can't work for the business, they can gain skills and experience elsewhere that would actually benefit that business. And then, as you say, we are donating monies to NHS charities. We've considered a few things. We looked at profits. We're looking at getting grants to get this going. So what we've said, we're actually going to donate revenues because we believe that's the largest slice of money. So we want to make a contribution to NHS charities as well.
Okay, so furloughing is, well, we don't know how long it's around for. It's been extended to the end of June. Whether that gets extended beyond the end of June, and what everyday life and normality has in store for us, who knows? Is this a limited shelf life product or service that you're offering, and where do you see it going after things slowly return to normal, assuming that happens anytime soon?
Sure, it's an interesting question, and it's something that we've discussed a lot within the group. So realistically, Furloughed Life in that guise, yes, it has a shelf life. As long as staff are furloughed, that whole concept of furloughed staff volunteering does have a bit of a shelf life. But and we brought this together to help furloughed staff, to help businesses during this time. But we have looked at it and said, well, all right, where it's got a shelf life to the end period that people are going to be furloughed, what can we do with it subsequent to that? And this is where we look at the number of redundancies that are going to be around, the challenges to staff who have been made redundant, who are all...
Oh, we lost you slightly there.
Oh, have I frozen?
You did.
Sorry, did I freeze for a moment?
Yeah, you're back. Yep.
Sorry, no worries. Yeah, so in terms of taking it forward, it's about looking at the redundant, and then using this board for people to enhance their skills and experience, to really set themselves aside of others in a very competitive jobs market. So whilst furloughed, gain skills and experience beyond that furloughed period. If you are in between jobs, if you're looking to enhance your experience to get that next job up where people keep telling you, sorry, you've not got the experience we require, volunteer and get that experience. And that's really where we see the future of this platform. It may be under a different guise, a different name, but we certainly hope there's longevity, because we can see it helping people longer term than just the furloughed period.
Okay. Obviously, during our chat yesterday, I did mention a lady by the name of Diana Bowden, who set up Let's Go Forward. It was in response to the Thomas Cook crash or closure at the end of 2019, and a lot of local support and businesses came together to support that. In the same way, I wonder if there's some longevity, because even though she's officially launched the business now, it's about helping anyone who's been made redundant. furloughing, made redundant, if you say 2 million people are going to find themselves out of work, then actually I will definitely put you guys in touch with one another. So obviously your day job is still there, it hasn't gone anywhere with recruitment. Just give me a quick overview. Why would someone use a local recruiter? What's the benefit to them?
Sure. I suppose similar to many, I started my business because I believed I could do something different, I could do something better. I focus on working with Northwest tech businesses, and I focus on working with growing businesses. Now, I'll be really honest and put this out there that actually the bit of recruitment that I always disliked, the bit I didn't feel I was the best at, was the telesales part. Hated it. People don't like being on the receiving end. I just felt there was a better way of doing it. I think the real skill in recruitment is about finding the people for the vacancies, the people that are going to be in the company, make the difference longer term. So I set up Focus 5 really with a vision to not make those unnecessary sales calls, so as I could work with people, understand their business a bit better. So what do people get from working with Focus 5? They get a really personal service. Why do we focus on the Northwest? It's so we can get out there and see people, so as we can understand their operations, so as we can really get to understand where their business is wanting to go. We work with growing and ambitious companies, and the reason that we say that is that at that point we know we're really adding value. Often the companies that we work with have got venture capitalists, private equity, some form of investment, and when they get that money, they want to do one or two things with the money. They want to spend it on the development of their product, or they want to grow the workforce, and in both cases we can help. If they're looking to improve the product, we can find them the tech staff to help them do that. If they're looking to grow as an organisation, we can help with marketing, digital and sales staff to get the message out there. So that's really where we help. And I'm passionate about companies not wasting money unnecessarily on recruitment. I am involved with this Techcelerate. I'm involved with Subs. They're all smaller businesses who recruited. They're often, not always. They're often smaller businesses that recruiters would traditionally ignore, and I just think it's a huge mistake. We'll go into it a bit more, but I want to help those businesses. I can learn from them as well, and you never know where they're going to go. And I think if I can give some lessons in terms of recruitment, save your money early doors, then later down the line when they really need the skills of a recruiter and where we can really add value, that's when we can get involved properly.
Okay, brilliant. Well, appreciate your time, Chris, for going through with us on Furloughed Life. How do they find it? Obviously the domain name, it's not a traditional domain name with a .co.uk or a .com, is it?
Not at all. No, it is actually furloughed.life, no .com, no .co.uk. If they simply want to go to Google and enter furloughed.life, it will be the top one that comes up.
Okay, brilliant. And a question that obviously I always like to ask is, who would you secretly love to have a coffee with? And even though we recorded this yesterday, has your answer changed?
No, but I'll go with the less political of the two, and just talk about southern roots. I'm from Bournemouth originally. I've always followed Bournemouth. I don't want to sort of bring boring football into a business conversation, but the manager Eddie Howe of Bournemouth, take the football out of it. What he's done to that organisation and what he's achieved with them is fantastic. He took them from the brink of bankruptcy in League Two. They're now a Premier League football club. They're financially safe. They are financially sound. He's growing their squad base. He's a real sort of people person. He works with people. He helps them achieve the most that they can in what they do. And he's taken some footballers literally from sort of League One all the way to the top flight of Premier League football. And to be able to do that for people and the organisation that he's involved in, I think there's so much that I could learn from him with a coffee. So that would be my answer.
Right, okay. I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to tune in or ever see this video or interview, but you never know. If anybody knows him, put him in touch with Chris McCarthy. Right, I'm going to finish on for the last minute or so. Subs Wilmslow. Obviously, it's a group that started last September. You've been a part of it from the start, so you're one of Subs Wilmslow's founding partners. Why Subs? What do you like about it?
Sure. I mentioned earlier that I'm interested in getting involved in different sort of networking groups. I got involved in Subs because it's a local networking group, and the people involved in Subs Wilmslow are great, and we really enjoy our time together. It's a different networking group. I certainly didn't go to the networking group with the attitude of, okay, can these people help me gain business? Can I give them business? I've kind of shied away from those groups because what I do is quite specific and quite niche. I joined so as I could share problems. So as I could extend my network, so as I could get ideas. I'm a small business. I'm owner. I'm first into this last year, so their experience has really helped me. But the other thing is really the learning piece that you get with Subs, and I've always enjoyed that. The learning sessions. There've been some sessions where I've had some previous knowledge going into it, and there's been elements of refresher. There's other talks where I've gone in and known nothing and come away with a whole raft of new skills. So I really enjoy the learning aspect of it, and we're a very together group, and that's what I enjoy about Subs Wilmslow.
Brilliant. Well, most networking groups call themselves networking groups. We run networking and learning events, and we're more of a local business community. But obviously we have got Subs Wilmslow, which are a part of, Subs Stockport, and actually the one I run, Subs Altrincham. And hot off the press, we are about to launch Subs Macclesfield. But the next Subs Wilmslow event is scheduled, it's the first Friday of the month, and I know it's coming up on the 1st of May, 9 a.m. Obviously it's going to be online at this moment in time, but normally it's 8 till 10 when we have the venue at the great Wilmslow Conference Centre at Total Fitness. Chris, it has been a pleasure speaking to you for the second time, and hopefully we've got the audio a little bit better and more watchable today. If you've stayed with us for the full 22-23 minutes, I'm very grateful for anyone watching this, and if you want any more information about Subs Business Events, literally just go to the website subsbusinessevents.co.uk, and if you are interested and want to find out more about Furloughed Life, it is simply that, furloughed with a D on the end, .life. So furloughedlife.life if you want more information. Chris, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have another guest coming up soon. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, David.
Thank you. Bye bye.